Good morning, Rap Freaks. Lexiot's here. It's 9:30 and it's Thursday and it's the Thursday Think Tank. Yeah, let's think about it, baby. Yeah. This week, of course, was the end of the season for the Raptors of the 2023-2024 season. Disappointing season, but we had our end of season interviews this week. The players going on Monday, Darko going on Tuesday, and Masai going on Wednesday. And now that we have all the interviews and I've watched them copiously, we can talk about this in a way that I'm ready to talk about as far as what Masai said, what Darko said, and what the players said. This is also a call-in show. Just so y'all know, Thursday Think Tank format for this summer will be you can call me. And I think what we're going to do is the format will be 3 callers per show. So if you do want to call me on this show, you're going to have to call me earlier than other people. Now, the number is available to members of this channel and also to members of the Raptor Freak Facebook chat. So those are where the number is. And I'll start with the comments first, the classic car of the day. And people can call in. As I said, if you want to call in, you're going to want to do it sooner than later because, first of all, I want to get off the stream by a certain time. I think cut off at 10:15, no later than 10:30. And then also, there's only 3 people going to get through each show because I figured that like going too many more than three's about the right number. Three's about the right number. So, all right, let's start it off. I see Trevor's first in. So let's do the classic car of the day right now, just to get it out of the way right away. Oh, let's see who gets this first today. All right, let me grab it and we will see who it is. Oh, cool. This is old school. Now, this one may be pretty easy. We'll see how you guys do. All right, first person to write in the full name gets 100 points added to the Raptor Freak trivia score. I'm going to come up from over here. Is this the spot? Yeah, right here. All right, you see that? Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that. I want to make sure it doesn't have a shine on it. Ooh, that says at the top, 20 assist club. That's a pretty interesting card right there. I think that you guys could get it if you look at it. Who's that on the side, too? I bet you could guess that person, too. There you go. Stargate got it. It is Kevin Johnson, former Phoenix Sun great Kevin Johnson. And the person on the side, that is actually John Stockton. John Stockton of the Utah Jazz, a dream teamer. Yeah, good stuff, man. So, Stargate, you're getting the 100 points today for Kevin Johnson on the classic card of the day. This is a special card, 20 assist club, Kevin Johnson. Of course, Kevin Johnson went on to become the mayor of Sacramento and also had a sex scandal that was not the most nice thing. In some ways, he's kind of canceled because of some dirty shit that he did, some gross stuff that Kevin Johnson did. Apparently, I don't know. They don't talk about him anymore. You know that, right? All right. Well, good job, Stargate. Noted 100 points to Stargate's classic Raptor Freak trivia card of the day. All right, Trevor saying, good morning, Raptors family. Very happy with what Masai said about all the guys from Scotty, IQ, RJ, Grady, and Oshai have the potential to be the best defensive players in the NBA, and he's right. You know what I like about the whole thing, Trevor, is that he named a lot of players that are important to him. One of the persons that he named a lot was Scotty Barnes. I think that it's really, really evident that Scotty Barnes is our franchise player. I mean, we say it a lot, but it really is shown in just how much Masai doted on talking about Scotty yesterday during his 45-minute interview. Scotty was repeatedly put an emphasis on throughout the whole thing. And also, you know, he made it very clear, Scotty is the hardest part to find on a team. We know this. To find a top-level superstar that can be one of the top players in the whole entire league is really rare and hard to get to draft. So as Masai reiterated yesterday, having Scotty is the hardest thing a GM has to do to build a team. In some ways, that's totally true. There's a lot of other teams out there that would love to have a Scotty Barnes on their team. And that's what they're lacking. So I love that. Yeah, he had a name. He named the guys that are in, really. You know, I love what he said about Oshai. He really is developing him to become a true defensive stopper. And that, you know, we see the athleticism with Oshai, but he sees a whole other picture of more refined, capable, smart, intelligent, older Oshai as being a very, very, very known defensive player in the league. So I'm excited about that. He, you know, when he talks about RJ, it's a very familiar tone when Masai puts the name RJ in his voice because he's known RJ since he was a young kid. And honestly, the bond between Masai and RJ, I can tell, is super strong because RJ's looked up to Masai for a long time. I'm going to tell you that right now. Rowan Barrett would bring RJ to Raptors games when he was a preteen. Like he was like 10 or 11 like when he met Masai, very young. Like you got to think about it. It was like 10 years ago when Masai started working for us. Well, how old was RJ? He was like 13. So, and Rowan made sure that RJ met Masai for certain reasons. So there's an interesting relationship between Masai and RJ that people don't realize, that in some ways, RJ has known Masai for a long, long time through his whole teenage years. And there's a lot of trust and love and a very familiarness between them. I'm just saying that's not the normal GM player relationship. That there's a lot more deeper stuff between RJ and Masai for sure. Grady, amazing stuff. Of course, Darko making jokes about him being 17 now. And, they're talking about bulking him up and getting him better defensively and doing all kinds of good stuff. IQ, we have to tie him up. In some ways, they're not totally saying, yes, he's coming back for sure. I'm pretty sure he is. We've seen he loves Toronto. He said in his interview, he loves Toronto. He wants to be here. But anything in the NBA is not for sure. As Darko says, don't take anything for granted. And we can't take for granted for sure that Emmanuel will be back next year. But I will tell you, the chances are like 90% he will. They're very, very high. The situation is a very good situation for him. His management would be stupid to not try to work with the Raptors to stay here in Toronto. But they don't want to say it for sure because, you don't want to mess anything up by getting too sure of things. Yeah, I love the crew that he named. Obviously, Scotty, Jakob, Kelly, Oshai, RJ, Emmanuel. I don't know. After that, we'll have to see who is after that. So great interviews this week. Always inspiring to hear Masai get on the mic. Of course, he dropped an F-bomb right at the end. He had a classic Masai moment. He says, I'm Masai, fucking Masai. And he says something like, don't find me, Adam Silver, or whatever. It's so funny. Masai is a badass. And you know what? I have to give credit to the press, except for Michael Grange. Fuck you, Michael Grange. For asking very good questions of Ujiri yesterday. So he gets an opportunity to illuminate the situation and set the record straight. And one of the most important ones that he set the record straight on yesterday, and I'm going to do this for him right now, is that he says there are no issues between him and Ed Rogers right now. So me purporting that Ed Rogers is after Masai Ujiri, I'm going to stop doing that because I don't think that's true anymore. Masai said that everything's been quashed and there are no issues with him and the ownership and what happened when he signed his last contract. So that's great news. They put that out. He put that out there. The thing is, these press conferences are for information so that we can find out the truth about all kinds of stuff. And boy, Masai and Bobby are so good at telling us the truth and telling us what's going on. And I appreciate them illuminating things for us, whatever the subject is. There were a lot of different subjects thrown at Masai yesterday, Darko, and the players this week. So let's talk about it. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Oshai has the potential to be the best defensive player in the NBA, and he's right. I think Scotty, too. I think Scotty really wants to do that himself. Chris is here. Good to see MSJ. Fun night in the NBA. Nice to see Lowry play well. And I did like the TV work of Doris and JJ Redick. Seemed like a natural pairing. Yeah, they've worked for a while. I hate Doris Burke. I absolutely hate her. She's annoying. And JJ Redick's wearing on me too. I used to like him more. I did not watch the game, so I can't comment on how they did. I don't care in some ways. I'll look at the box score. I'll see who won, but I'm not watching these games, Chris. I don't have any time. And it's fun to see what happens. Now we have the New York versus Philadelphia first round, which will be OG and Precious against Nick Nurse and Kyle Lowry. From what I heard, Miami jumped all over the Sixers last night and kicked their ass in the first half, and Nick Nurse read the riot act at halftime, and they had to come back more correct. Joel played fairly well at the end of the game. He really scored a lot to carry them right at the end of the game because he only had 15 points at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And same with Maxey. So credit to Spoelstra and the Miami Heat for stifling the Sixers on their offense for most of the night. But at the end of the night, when things mattered, they took over. Miami Heat's not that good this year. They're not going to be able to do what they did last year. But yeah, the Sixers, I'm not that impressed with them either, because the Heat kind of messed them up for a long time in the game last night from what this box score says. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Chris is also saying, I think Masai knows that this year was a rebuild and that he has clear plans for this draft. He is in control of the situation. Yeah. They asked Masai about this draft and really, really dumb questions, some of them. We'll talk about them in a sec. But the thing that I love is Masai is mirroring how I feel about this. He's like very casual. He doesn't give a shit if we protect the pick or not with San Antonio. He either way is going to work for us. I love Masai setting Michael Grange straight yesterday and saying, look, I don't go into situations thinking bad things are going to happen, you negative ninny, Debbie Downer piece of shit. No, I go into situations thinking the best is going to happen. And I'm going to come in there and do my best and good outcomes will happen. And that's the problem right there. This is a thing right now at this point in time with all the people that are around the Raptors, whether they're press, whether they're fans, whatever fans, you listen to how they talk. If they are talking like this team is going to be shitty next year and they're going to be really bad for years and years to come, they are not Raptors fans. They're sad, pathetic, depressed people. Michael Grange forecasting that the Raptors are going to be bad and saying bad things about him, he's a piece of shit. And a lot of the fans are like this too. They're already not believing in the team. They think that a lot of this optimism that the team has is silly. They feel like these players are like this and this and this. There's really, really, really negative, pessimistic people around Raptors Nation. Well, I'm going to say that right now. These people are not fans because if you are a fan, you want the best for what you love. And the Raptors, if you love them, you want the best for them. You don't want to be like, they're going to be not in the playoffs again next year. Why do you think this is going to work out? Why are you a fool? Why would they say shit like this if they were real fans? So I'm telling you, once again, just like Manuel says, love is an act. It's not a word. You do it. Well, being a fan isn't an act. Is how you act. It's not what you say. It's if you want to be a fan, you better act like a fan. Because you're not a fan if you're not acting like a fan. If you don't root for your team, you don't get behind for your team, you don't support your team, you're not a fan. You're just a person who wants to critique and criticize and be negative and have some sort of outlet for you to be like, I hate this thing. I hate this. I hate this. You're not a fan. You're a fucking troll. You're either a troll or you're just a miserable fuck who thinks they're a fan, but you're in such a negative mindset you can't fucking get out of it. So a lot of Raptors fans that are watching me right now, if you listen to me, think about how a fan you act in your fan actions. Are you acting in an act of love? Like Emmanuel quickly say, love is an act. It's not what you say. You can tell me you're a Raptors fan, but if you act not like a Raptors fan, I'm not going to think you're a Raptors fan. And that goes for all the Twitter warriors. That goes for all the Facebook commenters, all of them. Iceman like Gervin, you're not a Raptors fan. You're not a Raptors fan. I can tell. You're so anti-Darko and you're so stupid in your dumbass comments in YouTube. I'm glad you're fucking left my channel. And I'm glad I pissed you off that one day because you are not a Raptors fan. In fact, I'd probably say you're a fan of some other nation that's just trying to fuck around with our nation. Seriously. So Iceman like Urban, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here is what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying, nice play in the end from Kyle to seal the win. Well, this is why being a vet and having old heads and experience is important because Kyle Lowry has all the experience in the world. He's been here, he's done that. And, that's just him doing what Kyle Lowry does. So I appreciate the Groat doing what he does. And in some ways, he saved Nick Nurse's bacon from, maybe another play-in loss out, So it is what it is. Now Philly gets New York. And a lot of people think that Philly has a chance in there. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this goes. Now, Miami against the Bulls, rematch of the play-in last year, will be on Friday, and the winner of that will get the Boston Celtics. So it could be very interesting. If the Miami Heat were playing the Boston Celtics in the first round, well, who knows? Who knows is what I got to say. Who knows? And Chris is saying Lowry's play, and I do like IQ a lot. He's my pick for the most exciting Raptor, but Lowry's smart play has been missed here in Toronto. Point guard development is hardest position to learn. Well, this is why I fucking warn people for years about don't act like people like Lowry and Van Vliet are expendable. And honestly, we were fine without Lowry because we had Fred afterwards. But now that we didn't have Fred, well, that changed things. No, I get what you're saying. Emmanuel's a very young player. He's going to need time to get to more under his legs and get more experience. He'll be there someday, Chris. That's why when we're talking about patience in these press conferences this week, this is the patience to see these young men grow up and be in their mid and later 20s. And then, who knows where they are with experience. You got to start somewhere. That's why I'm worried about the Thunder on their postseason run, is because in some ways they do not have experience overall. And like I was telling Terrence Ross on Twitch a couple days ago, in some ways, Oklahoma City has to do the stair step of failure and success in the playoffs. Are they going to be just this crazy Cinderella young team that steps on a playoff court this season and just goes right all the way to the top? Maybe, but that's not likely. They're more likely to fail and have to learn a tough lesson before they get there. All right, let's see who this is. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi everyone. Hi Sam.
Hi, who is this? Is this Fiercey?
Yes, it is.
Fiercey Salcera, good morning to you, our current Raptors Freak trivia leader. It looks like you're probably going to win this season, Fiercey. So happy to talk to you this morning. How are you?
That would be very nice. I'm very good, thank you, Lex. I'm glad the season is over. I was lots of highs and lows.
Yes.
But I'm standing with the team. Next season will be much, much better. I'm really optimistic and excited. Oh, yeah.
I love hearing that word so much this week. And you know what the thing is? It's a unity thing. It's 100% across the board. There's no, it seems like, and this is real. You can tell when people are BSing you. These guys are not BSing us.
So anyways, so I wanted to call to, actually you just mentioned a former Raptor Freak that said some team will offer Emmanuel quickly a supermax contract to lure him away from us. So I was really, when I look at those comments on live streams and people write stuff like that, it's really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's hard to not to look at those comments, because some are funny and some are from our Raptor Freak, the positive side, but
right.
Some of them are really useless, and clearly it's people that you see they use the Raptors situation as a venue like to unleash their negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's therapeutic for them.
Yes.
To bash on the team. It makes them feel good, and this is bad.
It's really a symptom of people that may not have a whole lot of power or happiness in their life, and they feel like this is the best way to kind of get that kind of feeling, is kind of have some control. And it's too bad. I know you're talking about Iceman when you said the thing about Emmanuel quickly.
Yeah, because I like IQ. I don't
want
him to leave. He's good for us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, he is a restricted free agent, so if whatever somebody offers him, we can match it. I think that
we have the funds for that.
Yes, and I think that there's a cap on how much he can max be offered, and I don't know if we're willing to pay him the absolute max. Now, if San Antonio is trying to do a super max deal to lure IQ away from us this summer, that is possible what he's saying, but I don't know if that's attractive to him. It may be, but all points sound like IQ's going to stay with. First of all, we have RJ with us, and he likes being with RJ. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have a feeling also that, like, you know, not only has IQ bonded with Darko, which seems like it has, is he's bonded with Masai.
With Masai. Oh, Masai too.
Yeah.
With Scotty, he's bonded and great.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah, the video games, the playing of Call of Duty is the new fun thing. Darko talking about how a lot of the players are into video games, and it's good that they have things in common and that they have things to hang out and do otherwise than basketball. So
absolutely. And speaking of Darko, I really enjoyed his presser. He's very, very good. I appreciate his dedication and preparation. And when he was saying he was spending tons of time on the phone and at a cafe all practically the whole day,
yes,
I like hearing that. It shows me that he wants to do it. He wants to be with us. He wants to make it work. I really enjoyed his presser.
Yeah, I'm excited about the future with Darko. I really do feel like we're at the very worst that he can be. I thought it was very interesting in his presser that he said he's only really had one losing season as a coach at any level, and that was like the second year he coached in the G League. So this year is his second losing season ever as a head coach on any level. So he is used to winning, and he understands how to win. It's just that the NBA is the toughest level to win at in the whole entire world.
Yes, and he was given like all the signs were leading for we knew we would have a rough season with OG's contract, Pascal's contract, all those, like Otto wasn't stable in terms of playing. There was lots of hurdles this year, and Nameless wrote it. I agree with Nameless. Maybe Darko knew what he was going into this season. Maybe I
don't.
I think he did. So, and he's someone, he's there for development. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he took upon the challenge, and he knows that next year it's going to be different. Now that everything is settled,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of contracts and who's new, and he's seen maybe Scotty and Yak's injuries also were like kind of blessings in disguise, because now it gave him the opportunity to see those players that are that were with us, how they work on the offensive side.
Yes.
And that's what he was saying. So I think it's good. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with them this summer and develop them further.
This season was definitely a ride. I think that when he came in, he saw who he had with Dennis and Pascal and them, and he thought it would be different, but things kind of really unraveled in certain ways and not really with any of his power in it. And the crazy thing is all the ups and downs, it's really to try and be consistent and still build that culture and still develop players like Scotty and Grady. That's pretty successful. Because if you think about last year, Nick Nurse did not get any good development in the confusion and turmoil of the team last year. Meanwhile, Darko, in the middle of all this craziness, that's like 10 times worse than last year, honestly. Nick Nurse had a cakewalk compared to Koloko, Jonte, the injuries, and he managed to develop Grady and Scotty way better. In fact, Masai took veiled jabs at Nick Nurse yesterday in his press conference, saying that we were able to develop our guys this year. And I love that.
Yeah, it has to do with the personality of the person. It has to do also with their motives, who are they surrounded with, and who represents them in terms of agencies. And I think all those are factors as to now I'm not worried for the upcoming seasons. Not at all.
I think as long as we have health, we make some very good drafting and some moves this summer, we could have a very, very good shot next year on all for who knows. I mean, in some ways we are young again. And much like I just said about Oklahoma City, we're going to have to probably go through a stair step of failure to success, very much like when we started our championship build with Dwayne Casey, Kyle, and DeMar 10 years ago.
Well, yes and no, because we have also, the core is younger now, but there's also Yak and Kelly who bring experience.
Yes.
If Garrett stays, that could help as well. That could help. And my last point, Lex, is about Masai. I really enjoyed the presser. I find he's very deliberate in his thought and decision process.
Yes.
He cares about the players. He cares about the fans. Mentions us.
Yes.
And he wants to win. That was my main takeaway. He wants to win.
Yeah.
I'm really confident that we're in good hands with him.
He is such a badass. And like, honestly, I love him so much. On the day I get to hear Masai speak, it is a good day. And even if it's a day like yesterday where it's the end of season's disappointing, he really is such a great leader. He's such a great orator, and he really is very, very good and careful with what he says.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, oh my gosh.
The media, he has to.
Yes.
Because they can find ways to like tweak the words around and make him no.
That thing that Grange tried to do right off the bat with the first question in the press conference yesterday was absolutely ridiculous. He was messing up how he said that on purpose to try and trap Darko into a weird soundbite. And Darko did, I mean, not Darko, Masai. Masai did not fall for it in any kind of way. Like, what are you trying to say? All right, if you lose the pick this year and then you don't have the pick next year, that doesn't make any sense, Michael Grange. Because if we lose the pick this year, we get our pick next year. And that's what Masai said to him. He was like, well, if we lose the pick this year, we get the pick next year, Michael. And then Michael's, no. I mean, if you have to give the pick to San Antonio this year, and then you don't have the pick next year. I'm like, wait. What do you, he wasn't saying any. No, I know he did that on purpose, Fiercey. Think about this. He was coming at him with a confusing thing to see if he could throw him off. Because in some ways, what he said was he was trying to get Masai to say, no, we'll have a high draft pick next year because we're going to be bad. But instead, Masai said, well, if our draft pick isn't high next year, that means we did good. That's what he said to him. So I was like, you go, Masai. Listen to him and what he says. And set him straight is what I'm saying. So go Masai. That's right.
I'm gonna let you go. Give the chance for my other Dr. Speak fan to speak to call.
Fiercey.
Enjoy your day, everyone.
Fiercey, you have my heart. We love you, and thank you for calling today on the Raptor Freak Live call in Thursday Think Tank.
Winning stream.
Let's go. That's right. All right. All right. I will talk to you again soon. All right. Great. Great first call from Fiercey Salsera, one of the very, very passionate, devoted Raptor freaks that absolutely loves her team, holding it down in the Ottawa region for the Raptors, Raptor Freak family. We love it. We love it. It's so awesome. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where was I in here? Trevor J saying, I love how Masai answered Michael Grange and Will Liu. Yeah, he did really good. There was a little bit of a judo move in that question with Michael Grange, just describing it just now. Yeah, Grange is doing this on purpose. Now that the season is over, Michael Grange has gone into negging mode, and he is negging the Raptors community and the culture of the Raptors into thinking, whoa, you're not so good. You shouldn't be so good. It's kind of like when you have a friend. It's not really a friend. They're kind of a frenemy on down low. And they come to you and there's, you want to hang out with them. But then all of a sudden they're kind of like telling you, well, you can't get that girl. You're not pretty enough, or you're not handsome enough. And you're like, well, you're not really building me up here, are you? That's what Michael Grange is to the Raptors. All right, we got our second call for today. Let's see who this is. Caller, you're on the air. What up? It's the Canadian Cowboy. All right, y'all, let's do the ad right now. I'm going to do a ta-da ad with you, Bradley, on the air. Ta-da. 647-833-6844. You can get this guy on the phone, Bradley, to come to your house, call for a free quote. We're working in your area. That's right. Where are you today, Bradley?
Kind of by the Toronto Zoo.
You're out by the zoo today. Okay. Very cool.
I'm doing a vinyl floor today.
Vinyl floor out near West Hill.
Quick, say hi to everyone and keep your heads up. Practice with shit. Masai's the man. Fuck Grange.
That's right. That's right. I can get behind all that. Masai is the man and F Grange. I'm totally with that. So, Bradley, who was your favorite Raptor this year? I know that you're a big Koloko fan. I know you're disappointed about what happened with Koloko, but who in some ways is your favorite guy right now on the team right now?
Like Scotty, obviously, but RJ. I like RJ. I like how he packs the rib. I just like the way he balls. He's Canadian. He just runs. He just, packs stuff.
I thought it was interesting yesterday that Masai said it's evident how passionate RJ is about being on the Raptors. I think it is evident through the way he plays. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. He also talked about your guy Koloko a little bit, and I thought that was interesting that Masai said that the door is not totally closed on him, and that the possibility of circling back and getting Koloko to come back is good. So
yeah, we'll see. I don't know if that. Well, I don't know. We'll see what the future brings, right?
The one thing is that I will say this: in the interview yesterday with Masai, there were a lot of emotional moments. It seemed like Masai might have been a little under the weather with sniffles. I noticed that. And then also, he got emotional about a couple of different players. He got emotional about Koloko, actually, when talking about whether he would be able to return to the NBA. I read in his face that he's starting to tear up and feel a little bit like, he does. I could read from his face. He doesn't think Koloko is going to be able to come back for the NBA. And it's kind of scary. So,
yeah, I think so. Well, I think we're going to draft a nice center anyways. Sometime in the draft anyways.
So if you had your dream draft,
I like how he said he was thinking that he was the future center, right? So
yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
Well, it sounds like he might want to replace what he wanted from Koloko with the rim protection, is what he said yesterday. He said two things he wants in the draft. He said he wants a backup point guard, and he does want to replace some of the long-armed defenders that we just lost in trades this year. So
yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a good summer for us, guys.
Yeah. Now, if we keep our pick in the top 6, who do you want to get? Who is your dream pick at the absolutely at the top? I know you've named a lot of different guys. You've been looking at different people for this draft, Cowboy. Who do you want that would be your absolute dream? And don't say Zach, because Zach is getting projected lower than the top 6 right now.
Yeah. I would say I like Rob Dylan.
Okay, so you want the guard for that's Duke, right? Or Kentucky? I'm not totally sure either, but I know that he's young. He just did 1 year and he's coming in. So you want to get the backup point guard with the higher pick. Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll just be good for when quickly gets off the ground, off the bench, goes to the bench. He can step in and kind of
Mhm.
nothing misses, kind of, right?
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
But
So
I obviously want Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn is the one I
that's
want.
the guy you want. I keep seeing him on the
draft.
pick on the first pick in the second round.
17th pick or something, right?
Yeah, the 31st pick could be Ryan Dunn. They're projecting him around there. They're actually putting him in the spot for us too. I've seen that on ESPN. So
Yeah, that'd be nice.
yeah. All right. Well, here's the hoping that Bradley gets the draft he wants for the Raptors. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's center in the second.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. I honestly, I kind of want to get the center with the first pick that we draft with tomorrow in this draft. I want to get a center.
Maybe where or something. That'd be nice.
Man,
I don't know if Eddie's gonna get to us. I don't see it.
we'll have to see how it all goes. Obviously, the lottery is going to decide a lot of our game plan. And Masai and Bobby are going to have to be quick on their feet and adjusting and doing things. It could be things involved with Bruce Brown's contract. It could be things involved with trading some of these picks and moving around in the position in the draft also. That's why I don't do too much research on the draft, because I know that it is very fluid and the picks and where we're at can change very quickly. So,
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I trust Masai. He's the man, and Bobby. We're in good hands.
That's right. And that's what Darko said too when they asked him, well, who do you want to draft? And he said, well, I trust in Masai. And you know what? I trust in Masai. You trust in Masai. It's a good track record for a reason why. That's right. All right, Bradley, I'm going to let you get back to the vinyl floor there out in West Hill, out there near the zoo. We got East Scarborough calling in right now. I love it. I love it so much. Bradley, what's that? Hey, be safe. We love you, man. And as always, Cowboy, let's go. Let's go. All right, cool. There's 2 calls down. There's only going to be one more, guys, just so you know, just so we can make things timely. Yeah, very cool to hear from Bradley this morning out near the zoo doing a vinyl floor there. Here's the super fan. Monique Lawrence is here. We're doing a Raptor Freak meet and greet around June the 8th at the NBA restaurant for Monique's birthday. If you know the super fan Monique Lawrence and you want to meet her and you want to come down and celebrate her birthday with us, you can come down to the NBA restaurant on June the 8th. We have not got the set time yet nailed down, but just circle your calendar and maybe you can make it down. See the NBA restaurant, the first of its kind in Toronto, first of its kind anywhere, but they picked Toronto to put it in. And we'll come down there, celebrate the superfan's birthday, and have some good food and have a little Raptor Freak hangout. She's saying Masai is a badass, amazing end of season. In my opinion, all around good morning, Raptor Freak family. Let the offseason begin. Nice knowing you, Jonte, but bye. Yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow, Friday Freak Out. I'm going to freak out for a good solid 10 minutes on Jonte Porter, and it's going to be hilarious if you want to watch it. Yeah, you want to hear me do a little bit of my Chev kind of work. Well, we're going to do that tomorrow. You know, NBA Chev is awesome. He's moved on to Patreon and other places. I highly recommend NBA Chev. But yeah, you want to see Lex get a little boy NBA Chev. Tomorrow's a stream to watch because I'm going to go off on Jonte. Friday Freak Out, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah, today I didn't want to let Jonte overshadow the great Masai's great end of season press conference yesterday. So I said, nah, we're not talking Jonte totally today. I'm going to save my shot for tomorrow. And trust me, I'm going to go off. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to cut a wrestling promo on him real quick. Monique is saying, did anyone notice Masai was sick at the presser? He was sniffling a little bit. You could tell he had a little bit of congestion. You could totally tell that. Yeah. I love what Masai said when they asked him about Keith Pelly. Keith Pelly, of course, is the new president of MLSE. In some ways, it's really good that he's there, as Masai says, because they needed somebody in that position. That position is needed, is very valuable. And in some ways, he's already talked to him and everything's cool. In some ways, who was it? I think it was Will Liu. It was Will Liu asking him, who do you report to him now? And Masai got a little incredulous. He's kind of like, wait, I report to 100 people. I report to Bobby. I report to my 10-year-old daughter. I report to Teresa, and she doesn't even work here. I report to Doug. He's pointing to Doug Smith over in the corner. I thought that was so hilarious. And like, he's right. This is the thing. You got to understand, Masai Ujiri is serving everybody in the whole franchise. That he is servicing and helping the players. He's being there for the all of his front office people. He's being there for media people. He's being there for his coaches, obviously. You know, that's the thing. Masai is not one of these guys that just runs things and hides in the office and doesn't talk to people. He understands to run a good organization. He has to be accessible. He has to have an open ear, and he has to listen to everybody. And that's what he's saying. There can't be any ego in leadership. And that's the thing that was pointed out in that. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, he's going to have to talk to Keith Pelly. Yeah, he's going to have to tell him what's up. The other thing that was interesting was they asked him about raised ticket prices. And I'm like, whoa. It's like, really? Is this in his job description? Do you really think that he's the one who's setting the prices for the tickets? Well, he handled that question with grace and really spelled it out in the right way. It's like, I do have a contribution to this. Well, because I shaped the team, and whether it wins or not. But he does not make this decision about raising the prices, but he did kind of give us the reasons why. We look at markets across the league and how much they pay. We look at the city of Toronto. We do all this stuff and we figure out what the price point should be. I get it, fans. If they're losing, you shouldn't have to pay more. And I agree with you. But this is the sad truth. In today's world, people will pay even if. And in some ways, if you really don't like the prices, don't go to the games and don't spend the money. You know, somebody will, and people will probably go to the games. If they can get away with making that price, this is capitalism, baby. This is the way it works. This is business. You don't like the ticket prices for the Raptors? Well, you should hate capitalism. That's basically what I'll say like this. Don't blame Masai. He's trying to make a good team that's entertaining, that will be worth your money to go down and see it. You want to blame someone? Blame corporate capitalists that look at bottom lines and profit margins and red and black ink, and they are going to squeeze you for every little bit they can get you. So you want to blame somebody, blame them, and blame the grocers too while you're at it. There you go. Bam, bam, bam. Knocking it out right there. Yeah. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, good morning. Sheesh, Grange, with the utterly stupid questions. Yeah, Masai is a goat. He has a plan, undoubtedly. Yeah, honestly, Grange, every single one of your questions that you came at them with were like traps, trying to trap them. What was the other one he did that was so fucked up and kind of like, what are you trying to say right now? Either way, I don't care. Grange, you're an asshole. And stop trying to paint negative slants on the Raptors. You are negging them now. As soon as the season ended, Grange went into full negative press mode, and realize that when you read his stuff. Like, he read an article this week saying, why are the Raptors so optimistic about the future? Are they fools? Are they foolish? Does this seem like this is real? I don't know. Whatever, Grange. Go fuck yourself. That's what I'm going to say to you right now. And Masai is the GOAT. That's right. Let's go, Masai. That's right, Bradley. Thanks for calling me. Trevor's saying, Masai, we have your back. Yes and yes. Let's go. The baddest GM in the game. That's right. Him and Bobby are awesome, and I'm excited to see what they do this summer. I think in some ways, I read from Masai's body language and what he was saying yesterday that he's actually really excited to start the process over. I will say this also. I think that it's very much attractive for Masai to stick around the Raptors because of Scotty. I think that because we did draft Scotty, he really wants to handle him correctly and be a big part of shaping and helping him. It was a very, very cool thing to know that Scotty was there yesterday, hanging out with Bobby Masai before Masai's press conference for a few hours. That he said that. In fact, Scotty was with Bobby and Masai when they announced Team USA, and he saw that he wasn't on there. I don't even know why they made that 40-man list of who was going to be on Team USA. If they just were going to go ahead, Grant Hill, and just name the 12 people and then just add Kawhi at the end. It was hilarious. It's like they asked Masai about Scotty being on Team USA. And he at first, he had a big tell. He's like, oh, and some ways it's a little headache. You can tell, but he's going to say, yes, I really want Scotty to be on Team USA. His stance is probably very similar to mine, but he won't say it. But this is the thing. Scotty's going to be on Team USA in the future. It's just these old heads are going to get their last shine, and Scotty will get on there in later cycles. In some ways, that'll be fantastic, and I'm all for it for sure. I want Scotty to get all of his dreams. But in some ways, it's a blessing that these old heads are going to be around doing it this year, and Scotty's not going to be able to be on the team this year. Down the road, when things are a little bit more established in his career and things like that, he will be an Olympian. Trust me, Scotty Barnes will be an Olympian, and we will totally, fully support you on that. That's right. Yeah. MSJ saying after this year and the trades made seemingly on the fly, Masai is a genius. You know, in some ways, this has been really hard. One of the things Masai did yesterday was really interesting was he owned up to his mistakes. This was the questions Grange kept asking. He kept asking, now, some of your free agent signings in recent years, well, they haven't really been that good. You know, he's saying shit like that to him. And it's like, obviously, he's talking about people like Jalen McDaniels, Otto Porter Jr., and Masai owned up to it. He said, yeah, you know, Grange, we could do better if we signed a couple of the lower level players, the mid level. We could do better in that area. He's like owning up to it. You know what? That's a great thing. He's not above reproach. Yeah, he can see that. Yeah, we could do better. But a lot of ways, that's not Masai's fault. In some ways, that's the player's fault. That's Otto's Toes' fault. That's Jalen McDaniels like looking like a stud that could be all of a sudden blossoming this year, not doing the work and doing it himself. In some ways, we can see he can see all the potential in the world, but if the person doesn't show up and do the work, well, he makes Masai look bad, Michael Grange. So I would have to say that. Now, Masai won't say that outright to you in the answer, but I'll say it for him on this channel. As far as like, look, you can say that, but look, when he signed Otto Porter, that looked like a badass free agency signing. Too bad he Olajuwon to us, but whatever. Otto was a great guy, and we like Otto. And whatever. So he got some money. He sat on our bench. He was a veteran around. Who knows what kind of stuff he taught Grady? Who knows what kind of stuff he taught some of the young Raptors like Scotty while he was around us? There was probably some value there that's hidden that the public doesn't know. So in Jalen McDaniels, there's still time. We'll see what happens next year. And Grange, if Jalen McDaniels comes back next year and he kicks some ass and he's a rotation player, yeah, you better take back some of the shit you've been saying about how Masai gets free agents and he's not really doing well with that right now. That's what I'll say right there. There's such a crapshoot. This is not guaranteed. You think that GMs just hit it out of the park every single decision they make? No. There is going to be failure and there is going to be stuff that just does not work out. Koloko. I'm just saying, is that Masai's fault? Koloko? He does his due diligence as they asked him about Jonte Porter. It's like, did you guys know anything about this? Of course not. Why the fuck do you think they would put him on the team if they knew he was a gambling degenerate? They do their due diligence on everything. Masai saying that like he watches teams rebuilding in all sports. He's not just watching the NBA teams and their rebuild failures and successes and trying to glean knowledge from that. He's watching every sport, everything. He's watching everything he's saying. And he says, I'm using instinct and intellect and knowledge from watching everything and trying to make the best decisions based on my instinct and my track record also, and also what I see in other places that mistakes and successes have been made. So yeah, he's a badass. He does his homework and he's looking at everything. You want to know what the deep down on any of these draft prospects are. Masai and Bobby know it already. You're behind. Trust me, you are behind. They know. They probably knew 2 years ago. Yeah, they probably knew 2 years ago. That's right. Monique saying, you mean President Trevor, or reference Masai, laugh out loud. I don't even know what he said. Baddest GM. Yeah, he is a president now. He's not Bobby's the GM and Masai's the vice president. Nameless saying, interesting that Masai said it was his fault that it didn't work out with Dennis. He didn't say it was his fault. He said it was our fault. Yeah, that was a great question. And this is totally true. And I can tell the hurt feelings from Dennis in some ways. I feel bad. I hope Dennis doesn't hate the Raptors in the future. In some ways, that may go a long way with him if he heard that Masai said with Dennis Schroeder that it was really the organization's fault with how things went. Part of it is probably they sold things to him at the beginning of the season when he came to them as a free agent as far as what the future would be. But because that unit did not work out between Dennis, Pascal, and Scotty and OG and them, that they had to dismantle it and he had to be a part of it. In some ways, they said they didn't give him enough chance. And I think that's true. And, it's not Dennis's fault. He didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing he did that was wrong. That the organization's at fault with what happened with Dennis. And in some ways, it's not that it's at fault or anything. It's just that the plan changed halfway through the season. And in some ways, that old plan had Dennis in it. The new plan didn't. And that's nobody's fault in some ways. It is the organization's fault for flaking on Dennis and saying, hey, we really want you to be here for a while, and then changing their mind in the halfway of the season. So that's the fault of the organization because they went in a different direction. So yeah, that was really cool. And I like that he talked about that. And listen, also by judging by what Masai said, Koloko's done, y'all. Don't hold your breath. He really got teary-eyed in a couple of different places in the conference yesterday. The other place he got teary-eyed was talking about Darko, y'all. He was talking about how he feels like Darko did an extremely good job this year. And in some ways, he feels bad for making all the movement in the middle of the season and disrupting Darko's rookie head coach season. That in some ways, anybody going through that would have had an extremely hard time dealing with what Darko had on his plate this year. And when he's talking about this, you can see a sadness in Masai's eyes talking about it, how he put Darko through a little bit of torture this year. In some ways, it's not fair, but in some ways, it's the kind of thing that will build character and make him stronger for it in the long run. But yeah, Masai did not like setting up Darko for failure this season. And he really did when he traded guys on game days, very important guys like all-stars. And yeah, that's he didn't like that. In some ways, you could see the pain in Masai relating to saying that Darko, I made things hard on him. I can tell. And he didn't like that. There were like 3 moments where where Masai got really emotional. The Koloko moment, the Darko moment, and there was one other person he got really emotional about, and I'm trying to remember who it is. I don't remember who it is right now. Maybe it'll come to me from your comments. Trevor's saying Masai said he does not want to wait 6 years. I love that comment, Trevor. Thank you for bringing this up, because something was taken away from him and he wants it back, and all on his mind, he wants to win. Yeah, that was badass right there. Like, all right, first of all, he's seen other rebuilds, and, you know, Detroit may be spinning their wheels. You know, he talks to Jeff Weltman every other day, and you see how long it's taken for Orlando to get some momentum going with their team recently. You know, this is true. Now, see, Masai's, if he's doing things correctly and he's not making as many mistakes as a team like Detroit, yeah, he can turn this around faster than the normal rebuild. And he ain't wasting his time. Him and Bobby are advanced level guys in front offices in the NBA. They're going to try and speed this up for sure. I mean, he's saying preaching patience, but that doesn't mean he's not trying to do this in a way where it can be expedited. So I like that. In some ways, he's got to do it correctly. But if he can do it swiftly, that's also good. But you don't want to do it too swift so that you mess things up because you're not doing things patiently. So there's a balance. But realistically, you know, we want to think about things on the timeline. And 6 years does not sound attractive. 3 years does, though. Definitely does. Yeah. I love how he said because something was taken away from him. It's like he felt that championship feel when we won in 2019 and he wanted more. And then when it was stripped away from us, whether it was our team, whether it was the respect that we gained in the last couple of years, we've got it stripped away. He wants that back. And he feels like they stole something from us. And you know what, even in his verbiage of saying that, it's like, yeah, you can read through that and say, yeah, the NBA did fucked up shit to the Raptors since they won their championship. Yeah. Making them play in Tampa and all kinds of crazy shit going on. Yeah. In some ways, something was taken away and he wants to reclaim it. And sometimes that's the coolest thing is like, all right, we've gotten that championship. I'm wearing my championship stuff today because I'm showing the culture that Masai Ujiri talked about yesterday, that we have championship culture. We have a culture of winning. And that is still intact, even if the performance wasn't as good. It's in the front office. It's in the people that we have around our team, like Dr. Alex McKechnie and all of the great people that do their jobs around the Raptors. It's a high quality culture. And that is something that's different than Washington or Detroit. Trust me. So that will help us with a quicker rebuild also. So, yeah, he wants to win. Good morning to Bryce Lawson. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Bryce. My brother is here. Good morning, Freaks. Good morning, Carl Otts. I hope you are very well. And the ATL. That's what I'm saying about that. Too bad that the Hawks got bounced last night. Trae Young and company beat by DeMar and the Chicago Bulls in the play-in round, and they are out now. Yeah, ATL is out. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam. Happy Thursday. Thank you for calling, Fiercey. Monique saying, Brian Macon, we believe in you with Scotty. Let's go, Scotty. Yeah, this is a really important part of this summer is the synergy between the Raptors coaching staff and the front office with the personal trainers of the players. We heard in the press conferences that there's going to be visits and seeing progress and going to visit these guys in their homes and places around the country in Canada and in the U.S., and I'm excited about this. I know Brian Macon last summer is very vital and key to Scotty Barnes' leap in his progress this season. And so when Brian Macon gets that list from Darko that says, this is what I want Scotty to do this summer, he's looking at it and he's tailoring and crafting his workouts and the way he's going to develop Scotty as his personal trainer this summer. I love it. Brian Macon does a great job. I know Scotty loves him very much. And the fact that, you know, he works in conjunction with the Raptors' wishes for the vision of what Scotty Barnes is so important. This may not be the case all around the NBA. sometimes there may be conflicts between like players and their teams, and they don't have the same vision. And all of a sudden, a high level player is going with their personal developer and they have their own agenda about what they're going to work on for the summer. It may not totally jive with what the team wants them to work on. So it's really good that there's a cohesion between personal trainers of the Raptors and Darko's coaching staff's vision for what these players are going to be too. So that's very, very cool stuff. Yeah. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Stargate getting the classic card of the day, Kevin Johnson. Very good point guard. He could dunk too. He was a good little point guard that could dunk it. All right, I got to get back to the start because it jumped ahead. All right, let's see. We've got Nako the Nacho. Oh, wait, Cool Cat. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Interested in hearing feedback from exit interviews. Cool. Well, Cool Cat, call me. The number line is open. The line is open. Oh, wait, you don't have the access to the number because it's for members of the channel or in the Facebook chat. But I'd love for you to call sometime, Cool Cat, in the future. We'll figure that out. Nako saying, injured Jimmy sucks. Great performance from Lowry and Embiid. Kobe White saved the Bulls franchise. He's been very good all year long, Kobe White. And this down low, he's been almost like getting to all-star levels. It's really bad that Jimmy's hurt for sure. Lowry was important and key, and Embiid was the guy who sealed the deal for them. Gerald, why don't you call me? You got my phone number. You want to get on the call-in show today? You give me a call. Nako, there is one more spot to call in. We've had Fiercey and Cowboys so far today. We got one more call for the day before I get off the stream. So, yeah, Carlo got it. KJ and Stockton. That's right. John Stockton's face just on the side there. He looks like he's kind of straining. Gotta get the ball from Kevin. Smooth saying, join late. Just saw your card. KJ, very underrated guard. Yeah, he was an all-star. He was very good. He had a lot of good playoff battles with certain teams out west, like the Lakers and the Spurs. Yeah. Kevin Johnson was a great player. After his post-playing career, it's been tarnished, his legacy in some ways. It's too bad. Let's see. Nako's saying, good to see that fire from Masai. Yeah, I love that he dropped an F-bomb at the end. In some ways, I hope Masai's not watching me every day and I'm influencing him. No, we know he has a proclivity to drop F-bombs every once in a while. He has for a while. In some ways, that makes everybody go wild. They're like, oh, Masai dropped the F-bomb. And like on social media, they love it. They love that kind of stuff. It's amazing stuff. All right, let's see. Fiercey saying Kevin Johnson allegedly is the word. Laugh out loud. All content creators say that in order to protect themselves. Really? That's like a safe word to say Kevin Johnson, and that saves them. Smooth saying, any comments about Jonte Porter? Yeah, tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Friday freakout. Yeah, you gonna get my rant. Nah, I didn't want to take this moment away from Masai and the team on the end of season interviews. We're gonna wait and we'll do Jonte tomorrow. I want to wait and see a little bit more of the fallout. In some ways, I'm wondering if there will be any kind of criminal charges for him because it's really bad what happened. We'll go over exactly all I know about it at this point, and maybe a little bit more than y'all know at this point too, because I've been really paying attention to the Jonte stuff really close yesterday. And there's a lot that's there that's really fucked up. And I'm going to go off on him tomorrow. I'm going to save my shot for tomorrow, Smooth. So definitely tune in tomorrow because you're going to want to hear what I say. Stargate saying, what was also interesting is the amount of times he mentioned Oshai. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely in the fold. He's definitely in the valued core for our future. And I think that's really smart. I mean, I can see the potential in him athletically of what Masai is saying. In some ways, he's raw and very athletic right now. But if he's more cerebral down the road, well, yeah, you could have another kind of OG type level defender on our team. It's a little bit shorter and quicker. That's the thing. He's quicker than OG. And in some ways, he can cover ground quicker. In some ways, the what we want from Abaji in the future is not necessarily offensive stuff. Now, this was a big topic this week about the defensive powers of the Raptors and how we get better defensively in the future. In some ways, that was a biggest weakness at the end of the season, obviously. No size, no length, no rebounding, no defense. So how are we going to get better? Well, Oshai gets better, Scotty gets better, Grady gets better, RJ gets better. And the stuff talking about RJ developing on the other side of the ball is very intriguing to me because in some ways they didn't really develop RJ defensively in New York. Well, if we're going to go in that direction with him and try and make him more of a two-way player, could be very, very fruitful and exciting. RJ's a very intelligent basketball player. And that's really, in some ways, if you have the athleticism, but you have the know-how, you have the skills, and you're smart, you can be so good on defense. So I'm excited about how the Raptors are going to make gains defensively for next year. And well, some of it is adding brand new personnel that we don't even know right now that has very much height and long arms on it. And that's why, in some ways, when talking to Bradley earlier, I value drafting a big man first in this draft. Because if we can get a good quality big man right away, that will be a huge help. Somebody to replace Koloko's spot in his role. That would be a huge, huge help. Huge help. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Carlos saying Jonte is one of the dumbest motherfuckers in modern sports era, aside from Shohei's translator. Yeah, we'll talk about this for sure. Chris is saying Porter was into organized crime or something. Also, I like the Knicks to destroy the Sixers. Easy work. I think that this could happen. The Knicks and the Sixers. We'll have to see how it all works out. In some ways, the health of both teams could determine this. Whether it's health for people on the Knicks or health for Embiid, that could very much determine how this first round is going to go. This is a grudge match. In some ways, the Sixers and the Knicks have been playing each other for a long, long time in very, very big time matches way back, not recently, but it's an old dormant grudge match and rivalry that hasn't really had its chance to go at each other like this in a while. New York and Philadelphia are very close in proximity, and there's a lot of rivalry between those two cities. And well, putting it on an NBA court with their two teams is going to be fun. Let's just put it that way, especially with our former Raptor people on both sides. Yeah, I want to see OG fuck them up. I really do. I really do. I want to see Precious guarding Embiid. You know he will be. You know Precious is going to be guarding Embiid. That's right. Cowboy saying, Jonte, what you going to do? Jonte, what you going to do? What you going to do when they come for you? Yeah, nobody but need no betting. Nago saying fully healthy Knicks make it out of the East. Well, is Randall back? That's not fully healthy without Randall. That's a big part of their salary cap. So if Randall's back, that's fully healthy. He's not there. Let's see. Seymour Pape is saying congrats to Kalo the Groat. They just won a playing game. That's all they did. I don't know. I guess we'll congratulate him. Stargate saying, is it me or do the Knicks play way better without Julius Randle? You know, this may be true. This happens all the time. I said this about the Hawks. Maybe they didn't need Trae Young last night. They play better without him. This could be true to a degree. This may be bad for Julius because it may make him seem like he's very much able to be out of town. Because honestly, if they're playing a high level and they're kind of like this big space on our salary cap is doing this, well, we could change it into this, and this instead of just him. Yeah, in some ways, it's like Randall being hurt is not good for him, especially if the Knicks are more successful with his absence. That's not good. G saying, my worry with the Knicks is whom is stopping Embiid. I think overall the Knicks have more depth and better defense. Well, we know Achua has some experience in the playoffs guarding Embiid and fairly successful, honestly. Like, we got to remember what Precious did with him a couple years ago. And he is on that team. Hartenstein is a big guy also. And I'm not sure what Robinson's status is at this current moment. I know that he's been kind of on and off with the injury list. So we'll have to see. Robinson, if they have their regular bigs like Hartenstein, Achua, and Robinson, they got a lot of people to throw at Embiid to impede him. Yeah, they really do. Nameless is saying one thing for sure. Grange is a Strunes. Yeah, there you go. Terrence A. Bascom. All right, man. Good to see a new name every morning, 9:30 a.m. We're talking Raptors live on the show. Today's a live call-in show. I'm taking calls. I got one more call to take today before I get off the air today. Good to see you, Terrence. IQ will be back. Good young man. I think so too. I mean, in some ways, look, he's saying stuff like your action, love is an action is not a word, and it's what you do. It's like what you say. It's not what you say. Well, in some ways, he's an honorable guy. I can tell his relationship with Jesus is very real and very, very like not fake. And it's the right kind of relationship with Jesus. It's a real one that is real Christianity. And in some ways, they teach people as Christians to not deceive and to be honorable people. Well, I believe that IQ will be back also. A lot of it's because, well, his press conference went really well. He does really genuinely seem like he does enjoy playing for the Raptors. And he loves Toronto, is what he said, straight up. So I feel good about it. I think that, other people have wishful thinking from other nations, like the Spurs nation, thinking that maybe we can finagle and get IQ to come down there and run with Wemby. I mean, I can see where that would be attractive. But also, I don't know if this is like something that's realistic in some ways. I don't know. In some ways, we just got to see how it all works out. I trust IQ, and I trust in Masai and Bobby to make sure it gets done. Of course, it has to do with working it all out and figuring it out the two sides, and hopefully nothing goes weird with that. Everything seems like it's worked real well, and it has nothing to do with whether he doesn't want to play for us. He's going to get a starting job here. He gets to play with his best friend RJ. What's not to like? And Scotty's awesome, and him and Scotty are obviously bonding. So, Terrence, great first comment. I appreciate your presence here. Randolph saying, blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Lex, a strong foundation is the best on which to build anything. Our team has such a foundation in place and the right builders assigned to the team. I think this is amazingly awesome and correct what Randolph is saying here. That in some ways, this year, if we're building a house, we just laid the concrete in the ground. In some ways, we started building the foundation for what it will be built later. Who knows how many stories this building has to be to get to a championship? But we'll build a floor every year. And well, we got that basement and that foundation put in, and we're sub 500. We're bound down in the ground. Well, we want to build above ground, above 500. And hopefully the first floor will be another floor above the ground and not another basement level. So we'll have to see how this goes. And I think Randolph's exactly right. In some ways, this may be the difference between us and the Wizards and the Pistons and the Hornets and stuff, is that our culture helps the foundation take faster and it stays in there. The quality of our people that are around our organization helps it foster that good culture of winning. And the foundation, even if we're in a bad time where we're losing, can get set right. In some ways, Darko does things a certain way. He always has, a winning way. And it may not have gone to the results. As Masai said, I was happy with everything that Darko did this season except for the results. Well, the results will come later because the foundation's been laid. Yeah, Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. I'm glad Masai called out the media for being critical of Scotty's work ethic. This is for you, Doug Smith. Yeah, that was crazy. You know, that was really 2 summers ago when he was on Twitch with all of us. I get it. You know, Chris was on Twitch last night. Chris Boucher went on Twitch last night, and big ups and respect to Shane Waters, Raptor Freak Shane Waters out on the West Coast, catching Chris Boucher on Twitch playing COD. And basically, Chris was asking, I need a moderator, guys. I need another moderator on my channel. And well, he came and told me, Shane Waters, on the chat. And I went in there, and you know who's the new moderator for Chris Boucher's Twitch stream? This guy right here. I am now a moderator officially for Chris Boucher on his Twitch stream. And it was funny, man. I was in there. It was fun. I was talking to Chris. I told him straight up, I hope the Raptors make you our Udonis Haslem. I'd love for you to be on our team for a long, long time. And I know you don't want to go to the States because that's crazy down there. And you love being in Canada as a Canadian. So, yeah, I was saying stuff like that to him. And, it was fun. It was fun. Chris was actually talking to us this time. Usually he'll just play and he'll ignore the comments. But he was actually talking to the chat yesterday, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm a mod on Chris Boucher's Twitch now. It's kind of cool, actually. Kind of cool. It was like, I want to help him. Some guy came in there trying to say he had 6 toes on 1 foot. And I was like, I blocked out the message. It's like, even if that's true, that's nobody's business. That's right. All right, let's keep going. G saying, Raptors have control over IQ's contract. No way he is not back, in my opinion. Yeah, it's restricted free agent. I mean, it's just if other teams have a big space in their salary cap and they can offer a crazy ass deal that it kind of hurts our cap space, that could be a problem. Like if San Antonio is like saying, yeah, we're going to offer you this, and in some ways we have to match it, it's something crazy like that. Yikes, that can be a problem. But I think that it's pretty much like a 98% chance we're going to have IQ back next year. I think it's pretty high. Chris is saying Stargate. Nope. Randall slows the ball down. Yeah. I don't feel like Randall, in some ways, he's a very interesting player, but he's very ball dominant. And in some ways, when players around him, like RJ before, they kind of starve when Randall's on the court. Let's just put it that way. Carlos saying, Lex, that's what I figured. Why mess with your golden goose and Masai? All these corporate types want is more money, and Masai made them so much money. Yeah. I mean, that's why Masai makes the money. And in some ways, this is exactly right. You know, if Keith Pelly values winning, Masai is a winner. He needs to hold on to him and keep him around and protect him as long as possible around this team. Because honestly, as much as you value superstars like Scotty Barnes and Austin Matthews, Keith Pelly, You should value the second biggest superstar on our team, Masai Ujiri, because honestly, in some ways, he is the level of a superstar in the GM world. In some ways, it's like, look, you want a Michael Jordan's GM. Well, that's Masai Ujiri. And you need to value that. You need to pay that, and you need to keep him around. In some ways, he loves it here. He's really loyal, and he loves being the vice president of the Raptors. So I wish people would look at that more like that. You know, as much as Scotty Barnes is a budding superstar and he's a real deal, like coming up kind of guy, well, Masai Ujiri is a superstar in his field also. And that he needs to get that respect from Raptors Nation when talking about things. You don't understand the ineptitude that we could have at the front office if Masai is not here. You guys really don't understand. I try to tell y'all what tankings would be like and losing in a rebuild. Well, I'm trying to tell y'all it's not a good alternative reality, the Masai-less reality for the Raptors. And we don't want that ever. We do not want that ever. Seriously. Cool Cat saying Lowry got his revenge on the Miami Heat. Kudos. Yeah, he did. In some ways, that was part of the whole thing with the matchup last night. Yeah, Lowry got a little bit of an opportunity there, didn't he? Smooth saying it was a lot worse than any of us thought. Oh my gosh, talking about Jonte. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. Carlos saying Jonte probably is a gambling junkie. Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow for sure. I will have my whole spiel. It's going to be funny, guys. You're going to laugh. David saying, nope, meaning, nope, it's not you. And he agrees because Randall slows the ball down. But Bill is in the mail. Bill is in the mail. All right, Mr. Bill's in the mail. Oh, no, Mr. Sluggo, why'd you put me in the mail? All right, let's see. Chris is saying the true reason the Sixers won, there was a free chicken promotion. A Miami player missed 2 free throws, and the crowd went nuts. The Sixers went on a run from 13 down, so it was a free chicken. All right. Tony Brothers was reffing that game, and who knows, man? Maybe the storylines are a certain way. I don't know. In some ways, maybe Nick Nurse outcoached Eric Spoelstra yesterday in a matchup of 2 of the best NBA coaches in the league. That's a tough matchup. I'm sure Sixers Nation is very, very pleased with Nick Nurse results coming for their team in the postseason. Who knows what Doc would have done if he was their coach last night? Who knows what would have happened there? Yeah. Chris is getting an agreement with Stargate. And David's laughing. Carlos saying they're probably done in Atlanta. Trey probably done in Atlanta. Yeah, there's rumblings that he should go to the Lakers. That sounds like a great idea. Go join the Lakers, Trae Young. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. I would love that. Nako saying Jimmy getting injured did help the Sixers. Yeah, the Heat's not going anywhere this year. Masai led me to believe his relationship with Koloko is good. That's nice. Knicks and 6. Well, the only reason why I think that the chance of Koloko coming back is not very high, it was not just because the health issue may not ever allow him to come back. He's also said he's looking forward to being on a new team. And that really did piss me off a couple weeks ago. So in some ways, he's moved past us. I don't know. Whatever happens with Koloko, I wish him well for his own personal life and his health. But in some ways, if he's playing for another team down the road, it's gonna be annoying. And I'm sure Masai, in some ways, what he's trying to do right now is fight with the NBA to have some rights over Koloko still after all this is said and done. That's obviously what his intention is, because he mentioned Koloko so many times yesterday. It seems like he's on his mind. And that means he's probably badgering the NBA office to say we should still have rights to him if he is medically cleared. And that if y'all strip us of our rights of him, which they have already technically, that's messed up and that's wrong. So there could be that Masai Ujiri is pursuing every single avenue to make sure that if Koloko resumes his NBA career, the Raptors have some sort of priority in some sort of way, seeing as he's a draft pick and we lost him in a really screwed up way this year. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let's see. Stargate saying, yes, and I was going in on Iceman like Gervin in the chat yesterday, him and that Rue Liz character. Yeah, they're awful. Those are not Raptor fans. It's crazy that Iceman like Gervin hung out with us for so long on this channel until he took off when I got mad at him for kind of putting other people down in the stream. Yeah, those guys, I mean, listen, Iceman like Gervin's an old school fan. I can tell he's older. He's around my age. But I don't think he lives in Canada, and I don't think that he was really a Raptors fan. He was more of a fan of maybe possibly Malachi. I mean, I speculated that he was actually Eric Flynn. Yeah, that Rue Liz guy, he used to come in here, but he's been banned. He was banned here like two or 3 years ago. He was banned right in the first year. I got rid of him right away because he's not a fan. He's a troll. Let's see. Smooth saying he bet on his own. All right, Smooth, don't talk about it right now. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I want to save the shot on that because I don't want to take away from the shine of Masai. and what he did. Just because they announced the Jonte judgment right immediately after Masai's press conference was over. Yeah, it's funny when they're asking Masai about Jonte, and he's like, I do. Yeah, we were compliant with the NBA, and he answered all their questions. They came and investigated. They were going to do their investigation. It's in their hands. They're going to make their judgment. And then I'm like, okay, well, when's their judgment going to happen? And then Masai's press conference ends, and the judgment comes out. Banned for life. Yeah, so that was very interesting. Also, touching on Vince Carter stuff, they asked him, how are you going to honor Vince Carter next season? And he said, it's a secret. And then he went on to say that, we need to let the past be the past and move on. And, he hopes the fans will forgive him. And I know he's speaking directly to people like me. And listen, Masai, you're the leader of our team. You're a leader of our culture. You're a leader of our fans to a degree, because I listen to you. So I'll keep this in consideration. I just asking you personally, from the Raptor Freak to you, please do not retire his number. You can do anything else. Just don't put that 15 up in the rafters and take that number away from young men who may want to come up. Especially, think about it this way, Masai. There may be young Canadians that idolize Vince Carter, and they want to wear the 15 and honor him. I think that that's important to do. In some ways, the number 23 matters to a lot of people around this league. And I think that 15 is one of those kind of numbers, because Jordan, Carter, they're two great dunkers, and they had a huge impact on young people that wanted to play basketball. So I would say this: don't rob a young Canadian of wanting to wear Vince Carter's 15 in a Raptors jersey. I think that is a number that should be open for people to wear sometimes, just like Amir Johnson did in the early 2010s when you assumed the role of the president of being in charge of the Raptors, Masai. I still think, like, there's a beautiful statue of George Gervin there, and there's a beautiful statue of Allen Iverson. There's a beautiful statue of Kobe. There's a beautiful statue of Michael Jordan. So make a beautiful statue of Vince Carter, of a regular, real size one, not like Allen Iverson's, and put it out in front of our building. And that is the best way you can honor him, because it's not just in the building, it's outside. And that's the thing. Vince Carter's influence wasn't just with basketball fans. It was an influence on the whole entire country of Canada. So it should be outside so all people of Canada can come and see it without having to go inside. And that's what it is. And he's air, just like Jordan. Vince Carter was Air Canada. So he needs to be out in the air of Canada, out in Maple Leaf Square, or Jurassic Park, as it's originally and supposed to be called. Put it out there. Those Leaf statues are down the way. Well, we need one for the Raptors. And Vince Carter definitely deserves a statue outside our arena. That's what I would say. Don't put that 15 up there, though. No. Leave it for the youngsters so they can honor him. And that's what I think we should do. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Kareem saying, I low-key want a Porter jersey. Not that it would be worth anything in the future, but it would be a timestamp in those new world of gambling. Well, I'll say this, Kareem. Fuck that shit. And if I see anybody wearing a Porter jersey and a Raptors jersey in the future going forward, I'm going to say that's Otto Junior's jersey. That's not a Jonte Porter jersey. And I don't even care if it's the number, whatever number, whether it's 11 or whatever fucked up number he was wearing near the end. No, I'm just going to say, oh, you got an Otto jersey. Yeah, persona non grata. That man is not going to exist anymore. Tomorrow may be the last time I want to talk about him on the stream ever again. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Unless there's new developments in his story and things after the fact. For the most part, I want to put him in the ground and away from us forever after I go off on him tomorrow for about 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go off on him. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss this. I am going to go off on Jonte Porter like the Raptor Freak you would expect would. That's right. I'm going to go off on him. I want to kind of do it right now, but I have to save it. We're here to talk about the interviews after the season. That's what we're doing today. That's right. David saying, yeah, Ruliz is another real piece of decaying stuff. I like how he used a descriptor that's not just saying shit. Yeah, all right. Let me give you a dunk, David, because of your creative way of saying that. 86. No, you know what? I don't like 86. We're going to make you 87. 1987. All right, let's keep going. G saying we have Scotty, RJ, IQ, Grady, Yak. Oshai is going to be a version of OG. I'm convinced with how Masai spoke of him and how they want to develop him. We have picks and potential trades. You know, one of the people that he didn't mention, which was very telling in some ways, was Jordan Wara. It's weird. We did not hear anything about Jordan Wara. And really didn't hear anything about the guys who were playing for our team near the end of the season. He did mention Gary and Bruce. He did talk about having good exit interviews with those guys and trying to figure things out with them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Gary Trent Jr. thing is very interesting to me, not as much as the Bruce Brown thing. Bruce Brown thing is not that interesting to me. But yeah, Gary, what happens with Gary is going to be very, very interesting. I'm very, very curious. And yeah, Masai very much preaching flexibility this summer with trades and the draft and figuring out what can be what and having capital and the salary cap to play with, to sign people. Yeah, there's a lot of potential areas and directions that they can go this summer. And they have to be smart. And I'm glad they do their homework. And I'm glad they're very methodical and they think everything out. I'm telling you, these guys really, really do their job in detail. Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri. I love that he said that he still reports to Teresa Resch, and she doesn't even work here. That was so funny. That's so funny. Masai, you're hilarious, man. David saying, I told you, Abaji is here to stay, people. Well, he's under contract. That's part of it. And yeah, he's a keeper. He's a keeper. I like the Kansas connection, too, with him and Grady, because they can be buddies and have a lot of memories from that. It's very, very smart. Thumbs up to Chris from Stargate. That's right. And David's saying, Fiercey, you hearing Fiercey on the phone. What pop, Fiercey? Fiercey saw Sarah rules. That's right. Dunk for calling in for Fiercey. That's right. David, you could be the next one. I am taking one more call. Fiercey Salcero's got the 1995, the 95 for the Raptors' first year. There you go. 30th anniversary coming up next season. And on Sunday, guys, the Sunday special report's going to be for 30 for 30. 30th anniversary, we're going to talk about my top 30 Raptors of the year playing for us. Since we had 30 players play for the Raptors this year, I'm going to rank the Raptors for the season on how I felt they did, the old and the new, and I'm going to rank them in order of 30 of how I felt their seasons went. We'll count them down. So Sunday special report, the 30 Raptors of the going into the 30th season. We're going to do that on Sunday. So I'll have that ready for you Sunday morning. Let's see. Stargate saying, Sa passe, Fiercey. Yay, Fiercey. Tom Duke saying, Fiercey is 100, always spot on, 100%, so positive and shines bright. That's right. Yeah, I love this new format for Thursday. So yeah, if somebody wants to get that last call in, give me a ring. I have the number up in the community tab for members that can see it. And also the number is up on the Facebook chat in our Raptor Freak Facebook chat. So, hey, Jill, if you're watching, call me, Jill. Whoever wants to call. Chris, you can call me too. You call me too, Chris. You want to call me? Let's talk. Let's talk. And let's get David to call me. David would be awesome to call. He's a great call to call in. Let's see. Chris is saying OKC will win a few rounds, maybe two. But hey, it's all new for them. I like them, but they have to get through a lot of experience, maybe. SGA is calm as hell under pressure. In some ways, it may have to do with what happens in the different matchups and the path that's laid out in front of them. Like right now, they're waiting for the winner of the game tomorrow night between I guess it will be the Kings versus the Pelicans. So in some ways, if you look at those two teams, they have more experience than the Thunder because they have more vets. But in some ways, the Kings are not much older than the Thunder. The Pelicans are, though. They have some vets on there like McCollum. So it will be interesting to see. Now, if the OKC Thunder are matched up against younger teams like them and they're the more talented team, they should kick their ass. But may have trouble with older teams that are experienced like the Nuggets. So we'll have to see how the matchups line up, how people go out, and see who their matchup is in each round to see how far they can actually go. But I think that this is probably going to be what happens, is that they're going to get really far and they may lose in like the Western Conference Finals to the Nuggets or something like that. So we could see. We'll have to see what happens, Chris. G saying Spurs cannot offer a supermax. He doesn't qualify for that. That is a cap. There you go. Just fear mongering. In some ways, these guys are coming into these spaces where Raptors fans are to make you feel unsettled. Like Fiercey said at the beginning of the stream when she called in, it's like I see Iceman LeGurban saying that the Spurs are trying to sign Emmanuel Quickley to a supermax and steal him away. Well, he made her feel worried. In some ways, that's what the trolls know, is that they have power if people listen to them. So that's why we got to ignore them. That's why in those comment sections, you may want to go look, but it's not worth it anymore. There's just too much bullshit in this day and age of just dumbassery in comment sections on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever people can comment on Raptor stuff. So in some ways, don't read that shit. If you see stuff that's good, like a comment from Lumpy Rex, a great Raptor freak, a fantastic Raptors fan for many years, a contributor to Talking Raptors, go ahead and back him up. You see Isaac Campbell say something. You see Tom Duke. You see Fiercey. You see MSJ. You see different Raptor freaks in different places putting in comments. Well, come in and back them up and show that the popular support and opinion is that side and not the troll ass stupid shit of people like Iceman, like Gervin. G saying Supermax can only go to players that were drafted or traded on draft night from the team that drafted them after 7 years and after accolades. They can offer max, but that goes into their cap. I think he's just trying to say Supermax just to make it seem like they can outbid us. Yeah, it is what it is. It's so stupid. Whatever. They're going to misinform. This is the way this world is at this point. People are going to misinform and use perception against us. G saying we have IQ's bird rights now. See, G's giving me all. He just laid the smackdown on Iceman like Gervin's bullshit comment right there. There you go. There you go. David saying, thanks for calling in, Fiercey. You next, David. You got my number. You actually have my number without going to look at it. You can call me too. Chris is saying, David, I think so. Chet has to play big, though. So not sure of that, but he's surprised so far. But SGA is my favorite player for the reason you state. Yeah. And David saying SGA is a stone cold killer. They're going deeper than we think. Finals in the West. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be matchups. It's going to be a matchup. Bryce Lawson saying Grange is really an idiot. Yeah, if you go listen to that first part, like the very first question, like, dude, he knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to throw Masai off and make him misstep verbally. And boy, did Masai joust around and be like, oh, no, Grange, no. And then he actually made Grange sound like a huge idiot because he didn't make any fucking sense. It's almost like Grange, you're a journalist. You should know the rules of this, especially if you're going to come at them with this. But instead, you just made up some convoluted malarkey where it's like you didn't give him an option to like have any kind of way of a soundbite off of that. It's very well crafted. And don't act like he didn't do that shit on purpose. He knew exactly how he was saying that shit. And he was just trying to confuse the situation. In some ways, that's the way that reporters do this in politics with like the president and the prime minister and stuff in press conferences. These reporters, this is a technique that they do with questions to try and trap the person they're asking the question. Well, that's all that was with Grange on that first question of the Masai press conference yesterday. Ridiculous. G saying SGA's demeanor during FIBA was very impressive. He's good under pressure. It's amazing for his age, just how good he is as a leader. That's true. All right, here's our last call for today. Let's see who we got today. Hang on. All right, let me put it on speaker. Caller, you're on the air. Who do we have calling today? Hello? Caller? Is this a mess up call or something? What is this? Caller, you're on the air. You can talk. Nobody's there. Oh my gosh. I don't hear anybody. Who is it? You're muted. You're not coming out. All right, we'll try again. Call back. That call did not go through. It was dropped or something. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Yeah, SGA is very mature and good for his age as far as leadership and poise. Seymour saying Grange needs to be drug tested. No, you know what he needs? Man, he's part of, you know what I want to say? I want to say some really deep shit right now, but I don't want to because it's going to just go down a rabbit hole. In some ways, I feel like Michael Grange is a part of white supremacy, and I don't want to talk about it too much more than that. Let's just say that. All right. David's saying, haha. And David's saying that award behind you is dope with the light on it. Yeah, that's the award that this one right here is the one that Trevor gave me. This is the Marquise Noel number 24 victory light, and it's actually on right now. I don't know. You can't see it right now because it's brighter. Chris is saying Grange is the neo Rod Black. I am not sure why Canadian media hires such people as their prime sports reporters. Always been weird from day one. Yeah, I thought he was a hockey guy this whole time. In some ways, I feel like Michael Grange is a tool for Hockey Canada. He's on the inside with basketball, but he's trying to make things about basketball look bad. In some ways, he's a status quo guy for Canada culture. And he's on the inside of basketball stuff. All right, let me get this call. Hang on a sec. All right. Caller, you're on the air. Who is this?
It's Blackhawk, man. Is it working now?
Yeah, Neil. Good to hear from you. Blackhawk is on the phone with us. We got great Raptor Freak.
Yeah,
Neil, what do you got going today?
Well, first of all, man, when I called the first time, I was singing, man. I was like, freak out.
Oh, freak out.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
The freak. So chic. Freak
That's
out.
right, man. Freak out.
Yeah. I love it, man. So what's up, Neil? How's your day so far?
Man, it's just I'm still getting over a cold, but I'm all good still.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear you're starting to feel better. I wasn't feeling that great this week either. Honestly, I was a little bit more grumpy this week, partly because I was not feeling well. I didn't tell anybody that, but yeah.
It's the allergy season. You know?
I think for me, it was something I ate. Like I have a lot of dietary restrictions, and sometimes I just eat something by accident, and it really messed me up for a couple days. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get messed up with this weather, man. So my allergies are at the highest of this time. I was taking so much Benadryl, it was madness. But anyways, life goes on.
So, Neil, how did you feel about the end of season interviews? Any interview by any player or anybody that stuck out to you in particular?
I like Grady's interview. You know, I like Scotty's interview. You know what? You guys are all good with me, man. I'm fine with them, man.
I think that there was a very common feel to a lot of the guys and how they're feeling about things. And then I love how like they seem like they really are like all for one and one for all, and kind of really like taken on as a group at this point. So.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more cheerier. I don't know if how much, but it seems more cheerier, so it's optimistic. So you know what? I'll just go with that for now.
Yeah,
I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it seems like the air is lighter. So
well, I mean, you know how it feels when it feels like somebody's bullshitting you. Like, do you feel like these guys are bullshitting, that they feel good about our future and that are optimistic about things?
They're supposed to. I don't feel like it's BS, but they're supposed to feel good about their
future.
Yeah. If they don't, that'd be a sad thing.
Well, that's the thing. I'm saying, like, we just finished this season with 25 wins. In a lot of ways, this season was a failure. But these guys were not downtrodden. These guys aren't like holding their head or feeling like, oh, you know, oh, woe is me. No, they're very excited. And in fact, it seemed like some of these guys were not ready for the season to end, that they wanted to continue to keep working with everybody, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, good sign, man.
Yeah, man. So anything else, Neil?
You it's on to the new for this team.
Yeah, the new era is the transitory year, as I call it, the wedgie year, wedged in between that era into this era, and then the ball wedged between the rim and the backboard a lot this season. So the wedgie year. Well, Neil, man, anything else you want to add while you're on the phone with me, man?
Yeah, everybody enjoy the ride, man. As I said, man, this is our team. Don't be making up
That's
no
right.
about it. It's our team.
That's right.
It's the one that we got, man. You got other places that ain't got no team like this. I'm all Raptors
right.
all the way. I don't care if they were winning or losing. They were at least something to watch. This is the programming to stay in tune to. So that's it for me, man. Raptors all the way.
I appreciate that, Neil. Man, you're awesome. And I hope you can make it maybe to Monique's birthday party on June the 8th at the NBA restaurant.
Probably I might make it for that one because that's on the weekend. So
that's
more obtainable.
June the 8th, a Saturday at the NBA restaurant on Queens Quay down by the lake in Toronto. It'll be a nice time, man. I hope I'll see you there, man.
Monique is going with some fine dining, eh?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how the food is. If the food's like the refereeing, it probably won't be that good. Oh. That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go now, Blackhawk. And thanks for calling in, man. And thanks for being a passionate fan. As Masai said yesterday, every team goes through cycles. And it's just our turn right now to deal with this cycle right now.
16 teams fail every year.
That's right. That's right.
Every year.
And yep. And in some ways, we're going to get back on there soon enough. Watch. I know we will. All right, Neil, I hope you have a great, fantastic Thursday. And thanks for calling into the Thursday Think Tank today.
All right. Take care, bro.
Let's go. Run the freak. That's awesome. Neil, thanks for calling, man. Such great energy from you guys today. It was we only won 25 games. The players are happy. Masai is happy. Darko's happy. The fans are okay. That's because we know this. Timbuk 3. We know the future's so bright, we got to wear shades. That's right. That's right. Oh, I hit the mic. All right, let me keep going with the chat real quick. Man, what great callers today. Fiercey Salsera, the Canadian Cowboy, and Blackhawk giving me a call today. I love hearing from all you guys today. Yeah, that was awesome. Let's see. Fiercey saying, thank you, fam, and let's all shine like diamonds. Haha, positivity wins over everything. That's right. That's right. In some ways, the worst, darkest things can happen. But if you're a badass and you can keep a good attitude, You will win in the end. Trust me. You will win in the end. Adriana's here. Should I be jealous that someone else has your heart? I don't even remember that comment, Adriana. Are we talking about RJ Barrett or somebody? I don't know. Anyway, Adriana, that may be overstepping. She's in here watching out like that. Okay, we're gonna have to talk after stream. Seymour saying cowboy dap. Yes, David saying some people need no an intro to da. That's right. Cowboy was awesome. Thanks for calling, Cowboy. And Fiercey and Blackhawk. Very, very cool. What's up? Yeehaw, let's go, Raptors. There you go. Okay, Tom, with it looks like you're at African Lion Safari. I don't know what's going on there. Tom Duke saying, let's grow and cook peppers with our guy. Oh, yeah, he's out at the zoo. That's why you did that. And Bradley's always cooking peppers and growing them. Fiercey saying, Stargate, speaking Creole, love it. Map boule means I'm good, fam. Nice. All right, we're getting a little bit of language lesson, not from Nameless this time, and not in Italian. I like that. Stargate saying Grange is acting like a typical hockey fan. This is part of it. I think that that's what it is. Now, when I said white supremacist earlier, well, I'm tying it into the whole hockey world. That in some ways, Michael Grange is an inside guy for Rogers to come in and kind of like he thinks that his audience is also like a huge part of Leaf Nation. You got to understand, Michael, your audience is different than Leaf Nation. But in some ways, you do your job like you are doing it for Leaf Nation. And that's the problem. That's the problem right there, Michael. In some ways, the action of Leaf reporters is to gaslight and make people feel pessimistic and scared and weird. I don't know why y'all do that, because you don't really foster an environment for success when you have everybody second guessing everything for the Leafs. There's a reason why these motherfuckers don't get past the first round very often, because there's gaslighting all kinds of ways. Now, that's Grange trying to do that to our fan nation. And I'm saying, no. And that's why I was yelling at the Rogers broadcast in the Scotiabank Arena this season, fire Grange. Because listen, we don't need this bullshit. In some ways, Matt Devlin ain't thanking him. In some ways, Masai Ujiri is giving him a stink eye right to him in the middle of the press conference yesterday. Nobody likes you, Grange. And whatever you're fucking under, the people that pay you and whatever your ultimate goal is bullshit and is fucked up. And that's what I'm saying. He is doing stuff for hockey fans. He covers the Raptors for a Leaf fan. And that's the problem in what he's doing right now. Is because that shit may be good for that, but no. G's laughing at Adriana because, Fiercey said, nah, Adriana, you are the one and only for Lex. Yeah, I said that about Fiercey? Come on, Adriana. Everybody can have love from me. Come on now. It's not like that. Come on now. You know that you and I are special. I don't like that she came on here and said that today, because that ain't got nothing to do. I say a lot of things on this channel, and if you think that that's something that you should be worried about, seriously, you didn't have to write it in there. We could talk about it afterwards if it really bugs you. No reason to put this out on this channel. Let's see. Listen, I've never met Fiercey in my life. I just talk to her on the stream all the time. Come on now. David saying 10 a.m. Thank you. Stargate saying, in my opinion, they are homing in on Castle. So you think they want to get Castle from he was on UConn. That's right. Okay, we'll see. All right, a lot of messages retracted to help me. Seymour saying, cool. And Adriana saying, good morning. I know. I just had to make that comment. I know Lex loves me. I very much love him too. Well, then why do you have to do that, Adriana? In some ways, it's not necessary. I love you. I'll talk to you after the stream. James is saying, when are they doing the lottery ball? Is it June? Yeah, it'll be near the end of the playoffs. It'll be near the finals. It'll be like in the middle of the finals series. Like when the finals are going on, they'll do the lottery then. I don't know the exact date, but it is in June. It is in June. And because the draft's in June also. Stargate saying Castle fits the prototype of what Masai says about the long arm defender need. Okay. Yeah, he did say he wants a backup point guard. I found that very telling. In some ways, he's listening to us. We're just like, oh, we need a backup point guard and we need long arm monsters. And that's what is on his list. Seymour saying, my old stomping grounds, West Hill, stand up. That's right. Yeah, I spend time out there from time to time myself. That's right. Blackhawks got Castle on effect. You guys are really big on Castle. Maybe I should do the scout of the day on him. Although I need to wrap up soon because I want to be done by 11:30, and I've got about 20 minutes. I'll put off doing a scout today since we're doing calls today. It's in May, I think, James. The draft lottery. I'm not totally sure. It's usually during the finals. Seymour saying the zoo is on the east side for a reason. Gorillas, apes, lions, panthers, raptors, snakes. The cage is full. All right, Kareem saying, I'm heading over to the cadavers lab trying to find a heart and a pair of lungs for Coloco, help rejuvenate his career. Anybody need it? Anything? Okay, Igor, get the brains. That's crazy, Kareem, that you are going to get some. That's a crazy joke. I don't know if I can dunk that. In some ways, it's a sad situation. I don't know if I can dunk that. Seymour and Cowboy are laughing at it, though. Stargate saying, I liked when he said, I report to Teresa and she doesn't even work here anymore. Laugh at my ass off. I know. You can see why Masai's so charismatic. So charismatic. You know what? This is one of the cool things about him and Darko is they're two of the best communicators in the world. Like, seriously, I think that the number one strength of Darko is his communication, that it's evident. This guy's just an expert communicator. He communicates with everyone. In fact, it sounded like what Masai said about Darko is that he went and talked to everyone. He doesn't just talk to his staff. He doesn't just talk to the players. He goes and talks to the medical people. He goes and talks to every support staff around the Raptors. He even came and talked to us last summer. That's a crazy thing. The way that they talked about what Darko is like with reaching out and talking to people, I really, truly believe that possibly Darko was in our stream last year, because he may have found our daily stream and he's like, these are the fans. I want to see who they are and what they're about. If you think about what Darko said to us last summer when he was in our stream with us, he said, I'm building a good team for you guys and we're going to be good. And he's saying all this stuff. And he sounded like Darko's voice. So, and if he was a Darko Rajakovic impersonator, well, he did a good job. He didn't break character the whole time he was here, did he? No, he didn't. So there is a possibility that we actually had Coach Rajakovic with us in the stream last summer. You can go back in the archive and see when he was here because it's all there. Everything that I've done is on there. You can go watch it. And it could very well be that that was the real Darko, because apparently he has a habit of reaching out and communicating with everyone. So why wouldn't he talk to the Raptors freaks? And who knows, it may have freaked him out when Evelyn sent that gift to him at the coach's open house and all of a sudden said Raptor Freaks on it. He's like, well, yeah, this is the YouTube channel. And when they talk about we have the passionate fans and the real good fans, well, we're a part of that. We are a part of that. We are a part of that. And that's what they're talking about. It's like Masai said, we have the best in everything. We got the best trainers. We got the best medical. We got the best coach. We got the best fans. We got the best culture. And that's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. Mo's saying this is somewhat related news. Sergio congratulated Jordy early. Yeah, Sergio Scariolo is related to Raptors. He's a Raptors champion. We love Sergio. And he is very proud of Jordy Fernandez getting this job. And he's a protege of Sergio. And in some ways, that's a really cool thing. Jordy getting the job with the Brooklyn Nets. And he's very proud. Cool Cat saying Scotty is a market driver. Ticket sales will be fine. Raptors are very strategic in the face of the team. You know, the whole argument about raising ticket prices, well, we don't know how good they're going to be next year. And we don't know how, you know, in some ways you can't just go off the last season for how much ticket prices should be. No, you can't totally do it by result. I know a lot of people want to see a winning product and they feel like they shouldn't have to pay the same price if the team's not as good. But that's not what this is. It's entertainment value for going to the NBA games. We can't control whether teams win or lose to an extent. And in some ways, you know, you're paying just to go to an NBA game. Get over yourself. If the team is not winning, well, don't go. That's your choice. If the team is winning, well, you're going to go and demand will go up. So I agree with Cool Cat completely. He's a market driver and people are going to come because they're going to want to see him, RJ, Emmanuel. Yeah, they're going to come. Grady, they're going to want to see Grady too in a little bit. Watch. Stargate saying, I know he's injured now, but Zion should be on that U.S. team. His game is perfect for the international game. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit with that cohort of old heads that are going to be there. I'm surprised that Tyrese Halliburton's on that team, honestly, because seriously, they're all old as hell, that USA team. And that may be part of the reason why they fail also, is because they're the older guys and some of them are lazier in their older age. Let's just say that right there. Yeah, it's done. There's nothing's going to happen unless they do injury replacements. I mean, Joel could hurt himself in the playoffs and all of a sudden he can't be there. And then they're saying, yeah, we have an injury replacement for Joel Embiid because he can't be here. And he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Because honestly, seriously, it's a stretch him playing for Team USA, honestly, as far as I'm concerned. Cool Cat saying, Masai gives opportunities. It's players' responsibility to work their ass off. Pascal did it. Scotty did it. No excuses from anyone. That's what I'm saying. These players make Masai look bad to Michael Grange. You can go ahead and blame Masai for miscalculations on free agent signings, but really the player has to do their part in coming through. And in some ways, we wish we could have got way more out of Otto Porter Jr. Of course, we wish Jalen McDaniels would snap out of it and wake up and be the player that he absolutely could be with his physical skills. There's no guarantees in this world. And in some ways, that's part of being a GM, and that's part of living on the moon, is that you get a lot of hell, and the people around you have to do things to help you look good. And if they don't, well, you don't look good, and it's not even anything you did. So that's just how it goes right there. Infamous saying Jonte really messed up. You can't tell Masai and the team you can tell the team had big plans for him, and he was going to be a part of the future. Him and Koloko. And that's a crazy thing. Masai is trying to do a good job. I mean, he got these two really good quality centers this year, and we don't have them to say anything for at this point. One of them is banned for life from the NBA, and the other one has a medical condition that may ban him from life medically for the rest of his life too. It's like, what can you do in these situations? Can you predict this kind of shit? I don't know. Is there some sort of really crazy level of knowing things that you will be like, yeah, we got to pass on Koloko because he's going to have a blood clot issue in like a year from now? How the fuck are you going to know that? How the fuck are you going to know Jonte Porter is a degenerate when you talk to him and everything seems on the up and up and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't know how you can know any of this shit. In some ways it's crazy. I don't even want to bring this up right now. I'll bring this up sometime this summer. I'm not going to bring it up right now because it may open up something really crazy. David's saying, yeah, all that for $21,000. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I have a very good spiel on this. Cool Cat's saying, okay, it jumped ahead. Let me make sure. Definitely cut me off now because I want to be done I want to be done in the next half hour. If I can do that, that would be awesome. Let's see. Where am I? And I will do a hard cutoff if there are more comments there. Let's see. Here I am. Cool Cat saying Masai watches a lot of football around the world. Also helps his strategy planning and assessment. Yeah, that's smart. He's looking at different sports and different things with how teams are doing, but also making it very clear to the press. Well, we have to do what's unique to our situation. And in some ways, yeah, we can look and see what other people have done, but really we have to think about it in our terms of things and realistically. And that's important. I also like how Darko described how he does things in the postseason as far as reading a lot of books. He catches up on the trends in basketball. That's why Bobby Masai is saying that Darko's sustainable as a coach going into the future with the NBA changing so quickly is Darko's on the cutting edge of basketball trends. He's watching everything around the world that matters about basketball, and he's thinking about it philosophically in the way that he wants to maybe make plans for our team in the future. So that's a really good thing. He needs a break. He needs to go and see his kids, and he needs to just hang out with Gaga for a bit, but he will be back at it quicker than you think. In some ways, he said he wanted a break last summer, but he could not take a break. He continued to go to the coffee place and sit there with his laptop, is what he said. So these guys get 3 weeks off this week, next week, and the week after that. And then they're supposedly all coming back to work is what's happening. Everybody's going to work after that. So Mo's saying, keep up the great streams, Lex. Go Raptors for life. Good times approaching. I agree, Monique, 100%. Mugabe saying Masai knows trading Pascal was a mistake. That's what he meant when he say something we taken away. Pascal was his biggest success in winning championship. That's not what he meant. He meant, all right, it may be part of it in the long run, Mugabe. I mean, he could say something is taken away, Kawhi Leonard. Let's start there. Then we could say something's taken away, the NBA season because of a pandemic. There's a lot of different ways things were taken away in the last 5 years since we won the championship. And, Pascal, okay, you could say him leaving now is a part of that whole dismantling of our championship team. Sure, that fits. But, yeah, I know you're a big Pascal fan, and I understand what you're saying. But the things that happened with Pascal this season had to happen, whether it didn't seem like it was right or not, and whether it's something that you feel like he regrets. Pascal's success going forward will be Masai's success no matter what. We love Pascal. Go deep in the playoffs, Pacers. That's what I'm saying. Nameless saying, Gerald. No, we need Gerald. We need to get Gerald to call in sometime. You guys will, he's been on the show with me before, but I definitely want Naco the Nacho to call in sometime. David's saying, certainly not a mistake. Proof is in the pudding. Cowboy's saying, Castle is good to Stargate. Okay. Wayne's saying, Masai shows the passion and verbiage that speaks to me. He just, look, some people think these guys are bullshit artists. No. It's like, some people that just don't trust Darko, they're like, yeah, he's just talking out of his ass. And Masai, oh, of course he's going to say all this. No. You don't get to the positions that these guys are in if you're bullshit artists. Let's just say that. You don't become Masai Ujiri if you're a bullshit artist. You get sussed out and you get found out and you go somewhere else if you're a bullshit artist. No. You don't rise to the top like Cream rise to the top, Randy Savage, without being a non-bullshit artist. So everything they say, they mean. And it's not bullshit. So any of these fans coming in the comments on the YouTube on the end of season interviews saying these guys are bullshitting us. How does anybody believe them? Motherfucker, I don't believe you because I believe them way over you because they did something over their lives more than you did, obviously. Masai Ujiri being a vice president of an NBA team, a man from Nigeria, and a Serbian guy who made it to the NBA to coach in the NBA. You don't tell me that these guys are bullshit artists. No, you don't get to where they get to. If you're a bullshit artist, you get found out and you get shown the door. And that's what I say right there to people that say that kind of bullshit about our GM, our vice president, and our head coach. That's what I'm saying right there. Alley-oop to Wayne. I love that. Yeah, let's give an alley-oop to Wayne. Wayne is always awesome. We love the Sergeant Wayne Strainer. He is a good guy. He is the drill sergeant. He wants a certain level of stuff happening with this team. We're going to give him his Del Curry 30. You got Steph's dad, Del Curry 30 for Wayne Strainer. Let's see. David's saying, is that Terrence Ross in the house? That's so sick in reference to Boucher's stream. Yeah, I'm really loving Twitch. Obviously, it allowed me to form a connection with Scotty Barnes. It's now allowed me to form a connection with Terrence Ross. And now it looks like I might be developing a connection with Chris Boucher as the newest moderator of his Twitch stream. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah, Shane Waters, respect and love, man. Looking out for the Raptor Freak family on the West Coast with Tommy Dookie. West Coast, BC, Raptor Freaks. You guys are badasses. Joseph Starks, all you guys out there. We love you guys. Yeah. Tom's saying Boucher has to know the Raptor Streak is on his side. I hope so. Chris, you come in and watch me, check me out. He's like, oh, this is my moderator. Yeah. I don't know. Either way, Chris is awesome. In some ways, he just don't want no mess. It's like, just let him have fun and have a good life. That's what it is. Tom Duke saying one and only. Man, it was crazy. I was like, Scotty never did actually make a mod for me the whole time we was with him. But Chris was like, I need a mod. And like, I was like, I'll do it. And Shane was like, yeah, Raptor Streak's the guy to do it. You should do it. And then Chris was like, okay. And he saw me talking and they made me mod. So I'm like, cool. That's cool. Let's see. David's saying Chris knows exactly what the Raptor Streak is. Trust me. You think so? I don't know. If he does, respect, Chris. I always love you. And you're one of my favorite Raptors of all time. Seriously. I love my Canadian Raptors. And Chris Boucher's up near the top of the list. David's saying, I wouldn't be surprised if he watched the stream from time to time. Totally something he'd do. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. I don't want to think that for sure. In some ways, these guys are very busy guys. They have all kinds of other things they could be doing. But if somebody's checked me out at some point, I know the Raptors organization does know about me. I know they have to. Stargate saying, I don't trust Keith Pelly. He has proven to be one of these let's make hockey great again guys. Well, in some ways, can he allow us to let's make basketball great at the same time and keep them separate? In some ways, the idea that like both can't have it is not good. That's a scarcity mindset. We want an abundance mindset. If the Leafs have success, that's great. The Raptors have success too. That means Keith Pelly's got a double barrel shotgun of success. So in some ways, that's what he's looking for. And I don't think he's going to, in some ways, this is a thing. Masai said this doesn't change anything about how he runs things. Nothing has changed. He made that very clear to the press yesterday. Just because Keith Pelly's now in charge of MLSE doesn't mean his job description, Masai's, and what he does in any kind of way changes. It's just that he has somebody else that's kind of there with him that he has to talk to and tell how the team is progressing. And that I don't think Keith Pelly's dumb enough to interfere or meddle with him being able to do his job. In fact, Masai made that very clear that is not going to be happening. So I'm not worried about this. In some ways, I had worries about Keith Pelly coming in, but in some ways, what Masai said yesterday made me feel good. And also the fact I don't know this guy. I don't want to prejudge him. It's because he was the head of TSN in the past. And he's done all kinds of different jobs for Bell and Rogers in different ways. I'm just going to say this guy hopefully is really good at his job, and he's going to help Masai, and he'll be a good ally, and he will be a part of why we get our second championship in the near future. So we're going to give Keith Pelly a chance. And as long as I don't have any problem with him, I won't have a problem with him. And right now, everything's cool. We're cool with him. So, Stargate may know a little bit more being on the inside of that corporation. He may know a little bit more, but he doesn't trust him. I want to trust him for now, but it's a blind trust. We'll see how things go, and hopefully everything's just positive. That's what I want to say. Masai made it sound like it's good. Chris is saying it was free chicken. I watched the game. Anyway, talk to you later. Have a nice day. See you later, Chris. And yeah, I have no idea because I didn't watch the game. Dave's saying, see you, bud. 10:40. All right, it's 11:19 now. I want to get this done soon. Fiercely saying, ideally, they should settle IQ's contract first. See what happens next. We got world MVP Dennis at a good cost, so it could happen again with another high caliber player. Also, get rid of Bruce Brown. It'll help. And there's the money spitting out of her mouth. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's funny. All right. I don't know the order of doing the extension with Scott or IQ. Now, it could be that the time when we can do IQ is after the extension with Scotty. So if we do the extension with Scotty before we re-sign IQ, that may happen in that order, just so you know. But both of those things need to happen this summer. Yeah, both of them. And Scotty was funny when they asked him about his extension. He says, I'm patient, and I'm just going to let things happen how they're supposed to. And a big smile on his face. David saying, haha, Lex wants to rip Jonte apart so badly right now. I really do, and I will tomorrow. David saying, I can't call in today. I can only call iPhones on Wi-Fi because fucking Rogers cut my phone off again. I'm still not paying you motherfuckers, fucking criminals. This is awesome. All right, I'm going to give David a 3-pointer. He's at war with Rogers over his phone right now, and that is awesome. That's hilarious. All right, well, that's too bad. I don't like to hear that, David. Well, someday you'll get your phone back, and you will definitely call us. So we're going to give you your 88 dunks. Just for your war with Rogers right now. Monique saying, glad you enjoy my write-ups, especially during the off-season days are tough, though. Yeah, Monique, if you guys don't follow Monique on Facebook, definitely find her. Monique, the Superfan Lawrence. She's constantly doing write-ups on the Raptors and different things that are happening with them, and it's definitely a great follow. So give her a follow on there. She did a lot of reactions to the interviews this week on there, which is good stuff. Yeah. Respect to Blackhawk from Fiercey. And Tom Duke's got the music, the freak out. Yeah, I love that. He was on. I wish I could have heard him come on the air singing, but the phone didn't work. That was weird. Yeah, Blackhawk the Dawn. I like that. Mars here. The call-ins are dope. She likes it. All right, Mar steps in and says something every once in a while, and she's giving me the feedback right now, saying the call-ins are dope. I like it. And good feedback. Always good to see Mar in the comments. You know what? I'm gonna give you a dunk just for showing up and participating for a second. Try and encourage you. I'm going to give you a dunk real quick. And thank you. Yeah, it's the new format. We'll be doing this every Thursday all summer long. So if you get the chance, you might get a chance to call in at some point. So yeah, check it out. David's saying Neil is the man. Yeah, it was really cool to meet Blackhawk a couple of summers ago at the Raptor Freak meet and greet. And it'll be really great if he can make it down for Monique's birthday also. I would love to see Neil again. Fiercely saying, agreed. The vibes are good now. They've been much better and lighter the past month, despite all the losing. Go Raptors. I know it's weird. It's like the vibes are better. Like we had so much optimism and we thought we were going to be really good this year at the beginning of the year, but the vibes on the down low were bad on the team. And then now all of a sudden everything's so light and like positive and kind of everybody's kind of on the same page about the direction they're going. I think that's a big part of it. It's not that the guys before were bad guys. It's just that there were different directions people were about to go, literally, from this team to other teams. But in some ways, that could be felt on the team. And in some ways, if you don't really see a future with something that's coming up, well, things are different and the energy is weird. And I think that's the biggest difference between the Raptors at the beginning of the season and the Raptors at the end of the season. That they all collectively see a future together in a certain way that the guys didn't at the beginning of the year. And that's too bad. That's too bad because I really did like that unit and those personalities at the beginning of the season. I love Pascal, OG, and Dennis and Precious. I always will. And it's sad that it went this way, but this is what you got to do in the NBA. This is what you got to do in professional sports. It's not necessarily about being totally loyal and everything and kumbaya, everybody together kind of shit. It's you got to make tough business decisions and you got to make decisions to try and win. And that's just part of it right there. It's right there. Yeah. Seymour saying Kevin Johnson went on to be the mayor of Phoenix. He was actually the mayor of Sacramento, which is his home city that he was from when he grew up. It was not Phoenix. He was the mayor of Sacramento. I know that one for sure. All right. There's 11 a.m., 9 a.m. Stargate saying Seymour, it was Sacramento. Yeah, he's correct. Hey, Kenny's here. Good to see Kenny. I've seen Kenny in other spaces. commenting different places. I'm actually a bit worried about Canadian men's basketball for the Olympics now that the coach is going to Brooklyn. Yeah, we talked about this a lot on Wednesday. That Jordy is going to be distracted, but you know what? He's the kind of guy that will take this challenge. He's going to be exhausted though, and in some ways, I don't know how he's going to find time this summer. In fact, Grange very pointedly asking Darko questions this week about trying to get his staff together last summer and how hectic it was, because this is the same thing for Jordy this summer with the Olympics for Team Canada. I am completely concerned about this also, Kenny. And hopefully this does not take anything away from Team Canada's ultimate result, because Jordy is now having to set up his coaching staff and things for Brooklyn. The timeline of it does work out. The one thing I will say about this, Kenny, is the Olympics, unlike the World Cup, happen in the middle of the summer in July. The World Cup was more in August. So there may be more time after the Olympics where Jordy can kind of switch gears and do more of that stuff. He may want to make his initial hires for his staff and stuff before the Olympics, but he may go straight into like all Team Canada mode for that period of time and dedicate himself to that, turn off the other stuff, and then come back to the other stuff. In some ways, Oren Weisfeld is saying he may have to miss Summer League for the Nets just because of his Team Canada commitments. That's what I'm worried about. I don't want anything crazy happening. Seymour's saying, oh, my bad, Stargate. And Adrian's saying it was a joke. I know, but I'm very serious on here, Adrian. I take everything literally here. That's right. Kuket's saying, Lex sense of humor. I got the joke. We'll talk about it later. I just don't like her to be controlling is what it is. And I know she's just being silly and joking around. Fiercely saying, I got the joke too. Blackhawk saying, Castle is a 6'6" defensive guard, backup guard. He will be our Holiday. I don't know. That's a tough thing. I mean, Terrence Ross says Drew Holiday is the best defensive guard in the NBA right now. That'd be awesome if that's what he could be. I still haven't scouted him. I should scout him, though. I can't do it today. I don't have enough time. Chris is saying, at the gym, wondering how will global warming be solved? How will poverty end? And how will we have world peace in the Mid-East? How will Lex finish these streams in 90 minutes? These are the big questions. Oh, my gosh. All right, Chris. All right. Well, don't give me all this all at the end. Let's see. Infamous saying Jimmy is out for the season. Holy crap. That's no good. That is no good. Yeah, Miami's done. Let's see. Randolph Phillips saying, yes, Lex and Raptor Streaks. The foundation with the 4 pillars are in place. Barnes, RJ, IQ, and Yak. Let's put the walls in this summer. Yeah, Grady Dick, Oshai Abaji, Kelly Olynyk. Add that to that's the core right now. We're going to build around it. We'll see if Gary's a part of that too. Of the sea. Nameless saying, what's evident to me is the Raptors have not internalized what has happened this past season. Me too. No, this is not their real identity. Yeah. And Chris is saying all my jokes fall here. That's because once again, I'm not a sarcasm guy. Adriana tried to just do a sarcasm joke on me, and I'm very literal. You have to be like Kareem and just write crazy ass shit or something like, I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. We got to get off the stream right now. All right, I want to finish with what Nameless said. What's evident to me is this Raptors have not internalized what happened this season. I think this is true. I mean, it's easy when your real team is not out there, when it's like Javon and Malik Williams and those guys playing most of the minutes. It's easy. In some ways, the blessing in disguise of what happened with Scotty's injury is that he got to sit and see it from the outside. This is very crucial and important. In some ways, this hand injury may be a huge blessing in disguise for the rest of Scotty's career, because he got that sideline perspective sitting next to Garrett Temple and the coaches, and he really understands things at a different way. I think both Darko and Masai and Scotty all said this when they're talking about it. When Scotty was out, he saw the game from a different perspective that enriched his view and his intelligence of the game, that I think is going to be very fruitful next year. If we're going to have an injury with Scott like this, where he had to sit out, then have it this year when the season's all crazy and it's a wedgie season. In some ways, the knowledge and the perspective that he gained is so valuable, even though he couldn't play. In some ways, he's more motivated because he probably felt so much like he wanted to get out there and help us win. And boy, when he comes back, he's going to have some momentum to want to come back and help us win next season. That's what I'm going to say right there. All right, let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Yeah, there's Chris Boucher was going live on Twitch yesterday, and that's when I talked to him around 5:00 yesterday. That's the Instagram story, basically. Once again, I'm posting the 5-year anniversary of our championship run from my Instagram show that I did then. Check it out in the community tab on this YouTube channel and also in the Facebook group. It's up there. And let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, there's the birthdays. Happy birthday to Donald Whiteside, former Toronto Raptor, way back, a very bit player, did not play for us very much. Donald Whiteside's birthday. And also, oh, wait, no, that's not the right one. It's not Donald Whiteside's birthday. It's Sundiata Gaines' birthday. Sundiata Gaines, 1986. So that means he's like 30 something. I don't know. Michael Bradley's birthday today also. Michael Bradley, a draft pick of the Raptors who didn't really pan out. He played for a few years for us. If you remember Michael Bradley, you are a true Raptors freak. Yeah, Sundiata Gaines and Michael Bradley. I read the wrong one. Donald Whiteside's birthday is next week. So, yeah, Michael Bradley and Sundiata Gaines are the birthdays for the Raptors today. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching me today. It's 11:30, and look at that. I did a 2-hour stream. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for calling in today, Fiercey, Cowboy, and Neil. Great calls today. And tomorrow I'll have a Friday freak out on Jonte Porter. You guys are going to want to watch this. It's going to be funny. I'll be out at the cottage too. So you'll get to see the natural backdrop as I eviscerate Jonte Porter verbally. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody. I love y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And next week, call in to the Thursday Think Tank. Let's go.